Hi, this is Paul McKenzie, Horticulture Extension Agent for North Carolina Cooperative Extension in Vance and Warren counties. I have some quick tips for you to get your lawnmower in shape for the coming grass mowing season. A few things you can do maintenance-wise to make sure your lawnmower is ready to go and keep your turf healthy. First thing is check the air filter. Now, in the case of my mower here, the air filter is covered by this, and you just need a screwdriver to loosen that screw. I've pre-loosened it, and that little cover comes off. Yours may be a little bit differently. And there's the air filter. That is definitely due for a change. So I ordered one online, pop that in there, and screw that screw bolt down real tight, and you're good to go. Another thing to check is the spark plug. And the spark plug may sound complicated, but it's pretty easy to deal with. And if you see this little black wire here, now if you do have an electric start lawnmower, you do want to disconnect the battery before you do this. But if it's a pull start, it's not an issue. But you just pop that wire off right there, and that gives you access to the spark plug. You'll need a special socket wrench to pull out that spark plug. It's going to look something like that. Your owner's manual should tell you what kind of or what size socket you'll need to get that spark plug out. Just fits right on there, and you can take that off. And if you haven't replaced the plug in several months, you might as well just go ahead and have a new one ready to go and replace it. Certainly if you look at the tip of that spark plug right there in this area, if it's dark, if it's black, if it's oily, it's definitely time for a change. Now, it's a good idea to check the gap. The gap is the distance in hundredths of an inch between that little wire at the very top that bends around to the left and the little metal point that comes out. That is measured again in hundredths of an inch. You'll need a gap tool to confirm the gap in your spark plug. Gap tool looks like this. There's other variations, but you can pick those up for a couple of bucks, and that's pretty easy to deal with. Another thing you want to check while you're at it is the blade and the bottom of the mower deck. So you can just flip it up on its side, and you can see my mower deck is pretty dirty, and it has been neglected for far too long. Got a lot of caked on, dried up grass on there, but hopefully yours doesn't look this bad because you've been doing a better job of maintenance. But you can just kind of scrape off that dried on grass, brush it off with a wire brush type tool, and get that all cleaned up. Your deck will last a lot longer that way. Of course, while you've got the mower turned over, go ahead and inspect the blade as well. You want to make sure you've got a good sharp blade. If the blade's still in pretty good shape, you can file it with a metal file or a grinder. Otherwise, you may want to replace it. If that's a little bit above your DIY skills, you can certainly take it to a local repair shop and have them take care of that for you. Another very important thing to check is the mowing height. And the mowing height is the distance from the ground to the blade. From the ground to the blade. And so you'll want to take a tape measure and measure that distance. And you'll need to actually see the blade in order to do that. So you may need to come in from the discharge chute and measure that distance from the ground to the blade. If you're mowing tall fescue, you want to be at minimum 3 inches. If you can go 3.5, 4 inches, that's even better. Now, some mowers won't have quite that much adjustment, but just go as high as you can. The other thing you might look for if you're having starting problems is some mowers will have a little fuel filter. It might look something like this, or it might be a little bit smaller, a little disc. and I couldn't find one on this mower, but if you're having trouble getting it started, that is certainly one thing to check, and these little fuel filters are just a few bucks. Easy enough to change it out and see if that solves the problem. Also, don't forget to check your oil. That is accessible from this little screw off cap right here. Just twist that, pull it off, and just like in a car, it's got a little dipstick. I wipe it off with a rag and then stick it back in, pull it out again to check the level. And if it's not full, of course, you'll need to add some. If it looks pretty dark, it's time for a change, or if you haven't changed the oil in several months, it's probably due for a change. Check your owner's manual for details. Some mowers will have a little drain plug to make it real easy. Others, you just have to tip it over and collect that used oil in a bucket. So I hope that helps you get your lawn mowing season off to a great start. If you have any questions, Cooperative Extension is here to help you with all of your lawn and garden questions. We're just a phone call or an email or a click away. Reach out to us. We're happy to help you.